The Dark Knight Rises, the third and highly anticipated film in the Nolan Batman trilogy. But you know what the problem is? We didn't want it to just be a trilogy. Now I understand Nolan can't spend the rest of his days directing films about the Caped Crusader, but he probably should have just passed the torch.
Shut up!
It would be extremely painful.
You're a big guy.
For you.
Maybe not.
What do you fear?
The first two Nolan Batman films are mostly awesome, especially The Dark Knight. So we're not going to spend much time discussing those because, hey, that's not what we do here at Stranger Day Productions. We're focusing on the 5 worst things about Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises. Number 5. No Joker. We all realize Heath Ledger's performance as the Clown Prince of Gotham is now considered legendary, not only because of his unique portrayal, but because he died right after production. I realize the filmmakers opted to honor him by not putting Joker in The Dark Knight Rises, but this was a fatal mistake when considering the script that they went ahead with.
The fact that the Joker still exists in this universe is very problematic to this story. You see, when Bane and the prisoners of Blackgate create a kind of martial law in Gotham, who presides over the hearings to exile the elite? Scarecrow?
I'm pretty sure Scarecrow would be locked up in Arkham with all the other crazies, including Joker.
Here we go.
You're telling me Joker wouldn't have a plan to get out of Arkham during this whole city lockdown? Not only does he not, but he's nowhere to be found or even heard from. Not even one damn mention of him in this film. That, my friends, is unforgivable.
Can't rely on anyone these days. You gotta do everything yourself, don't we?
Number 4. Lackluster fight scenes. Bane versus Batman. This is pretty much the reason for this movie to exist. It was the impetus for all of the hype up to the film. And in it, they fight twice. And each fight is almost good, but not quite. It feels like these fights were improvised.
Now, Batman fights like an angry child. He doesn't show any fighting intelligence till maybe late in the last fight. And the fights themselves, they're simply slugfests where they exchange haymakers and maybe sometimes defend themselves.
I'm fine with Batman getting his ass handed to him in the first fight, as it had to be. But it felt like he never stood a damn chance. Oh, and you ever wonder what punching rubber sounds like? It sounds boring. We need less realism with the sound effects and more complementary sounds to make each strike or kick matter more. We're also treated to ridiculous and comically bad grunts and screams from Batman throughout each battle. Now, these fights could have been improved significantly if they either A, hired a good fight choreographer, or B, used more thoughtful and creative camera work. Instead, we're left feeling unsatisfied with each duel. Number 3. Nolan was done before Rises began.
It certainly feels like Nolan really wanted to wrap up this series.
His brother wrote a very layered script that pulled quite a bit from Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities. And it was definitely meant to end this Dark Knight tale. Now, when you're writing a story to end a series, you have to make sure everything is nice and tidy, no loose ends, blah, blah, blah. Nolan feels the need to give us an ending to the Batman, albeit an ambiguous one. The last fucking image we have of Bruce Wayne is him sitting in a cafe with Selina Kyle, seemingly enjoying the normal life. Juxtapose this scene with Blake discovering the Batcave, which could have been 100 times cooler if this scene at the Wayne Home for Children didn't just happen.
You should use your full name. I like that name. Robin.
Thanks.
Oh my fucking lord. Didn't anyone tell the Nolan brothers that Robin is a hero name, a red bird, Batman themed? I guess for Nolan fanboys, this is the perfect ending. But for Batman fans, not so much. Number 2, Bane Was Miscast.
Now I know this is gonna be a bold take, but hear me out. Tom Hardy is good, he's really good, but he's too damn small to play Bane. And there's not enough low angle shots in the world to make him look bigger.
At best, he appears the same height as Batman, but of course he should be taller than him. It would be one thing if Hardy was roughly Bale's height, but he's like 5'9". For me, all the extraordinary acting in the world can't make up for this fact. This is Bane we're talking about. Perhaps they could have tried having Hardy as only the voice and another actor as the physical character. This would have been super easy since you never see his mouth. Add to all this the fact that Bane ends up being a puppet all along. Well, this leads us to the worst thing about The Dark Knight Rises. Number 1, Batman, the world's worst detective?
The Caped Crusader is often touted as the world's greatest detective. Greatest. I mean, shit, it's half the reason he's so damn cool. But in this film, he's not.
In fact, the audience probably knows what's gonna happen at all times before Batman does. The dude gets outsmarted basically every step of the way here. The most unforgivable one is at the end though, when Talia reveals her true self and stabs Batman. It's really the straw that breaks the camel's back. If this was the only time he was bamboozled, then fine. But it's at least like the 3rd time in this film alone. It would have been more interesting had Batman learned Talia was bad news before everyone, including us, the audience. That would have been a true shocker. Honestly, had they done it this way, I think our opinion of the film would be much higher. Thanks for joining us for the 5 worst things about The Dark Knight Rises. Let us know if we missed anything or if you just totally disagree with us in the comments.